Alright guys, we are here for Yamazaki's second bad ending / game over second ending. Yeah, so, this is the first choice. We're in chapter 2 with low romance and high corruption. I'm still reeling from the first bad ending, and don't know what to expect from this. In this chapter, it ended, I think, with Yamazaki talking to Amagiri and Kazuma. So, I could reasonably assume that one or both of them maybe kills him. Or, you know, kills Chizuru accidentally because she's trying to save him. But all bets are off the table with this guy. I don't know what to expect ending-wise. So let's get to it and see if we're surprised yet again. Instead of appealing to him to save a life, you go ahead and kill those enemies, boo. Understood. Yamazaki was right. Unless the perimeter was safe, treating our wounded ally would do him no good. I gulped, realizing that I was in no position to dispute. Okay, but please, as soon as you're done fighting, I'm going to need your help treating him.
Leave it to me. I will rid us of them soon enough.
Splotches of blood stuck to Yamazaki's pale face, and he spun around to continue fighting. My stomach grew queasy. Was any of this okay? As I watched him hack through the group of fleeing Imperial stragglers, he seemed distant, miles from me despite being only a few feet away. I shook my head and shut my eyes, hoping the vision of a thoughtless murderer would leave me. Ooh. Interesting. I forgot that he did actually have his sword to our throat. And he's crazy. Is he actually going to endure, or is he going to forcefully take her blood? This will be interesting.
If you have no rebuttal, then keep your mouth shut.
Yamazaki scowled devilishly before turning his back towards me. Interesting. I seized the opportunity, lunging forward with my arms outstretched to hug his body tightly.
Let go! What are you doing?
No, I'm not letting go! If I had let him consume blood, then perhaps his humanity would have began to wilt away. So I held on to him desperately, drawing him in closer to let him know that I supported him. It was a wholehearted sentiment. Although I knew that I would never experience the agony that plagued him, at least he knew that I cared. Is that how that works? I'm surprised with, like, how intense his face is in those pictures, that he's not screaming his head off compared to some of the other guys. Like, he looks like he's in absolute agony, but not a scream has come out of him yet. And then we tell him, you are human. This is the last choice. So let's see what happens. Part of me wondered if I had any place to speak. More than anything else, I'd wanted to counter his depressing sentiment and say whatever came to mind. That's not true at all. You are human.
Seriously. My earlier display hadn't convinced you otherwise. You are far too kind, Yukimura. Kind, but cruel.
And then he's like, I gotta stare at the ground speechless as I say that. Alright, boys. What you got in store? For all I know, Yamazaki's about to just kill both of them straight up and then vanish into the night as a bat. I don't know what would surprise me at this point. Okay, Amagiri's still getting his butt kicked. Alright, got into demon mode. Eek. I went to save him. And then suddenly... Oh, interesting. He's still crazy.
Let go of me!
Ow. Ah!
I haven't lost yet. If my life is forfeit anyway, then I might as well take the two of you with me.
Yamazaki shoved me off of him, and it was clear that my concern was the furthest thing from his mind. I doubted that, if it were me standing opposite him with my kodachi unsheathed, he wouldn't give a second of hesitation before rushing to kill me. Yamazaki, why?
Behold the price of relying on such pitiful abilities. You are as foolish as they come, boy. It's no wonder the Shinsengumi is heading for its swift demise. Have you had enough, Amagiri? Indeed. Now all that's left is for us to leave him with a parting gift, so that he shan't forget this lesson soon. Oh. Go!
No! It happened in the blink of an eye. Kazuma jerked his arm back and pierced his katana through Yamazaki's heart. So proficient. Mouthfuls of blood began frothing from Yamazaki's lips. His shoulders folded inwards as he coughed.
Oh.
Yamazaki? All of the feeling in my body left. I couldn't grasp what was happening in front of me, so I crumpled to the floor on my knees in desperation. I stared intently at Yamazaki, his limp and lifeless body laid over a widening pool of his own blood. I was really hoping it wasn't going to end with that. I'm like, please tell me Chikage has something to say to her. Like, this is his opportunity. Come on, man. Make it good.
Chizuru Yukimura, I am giving you two options. Your first option is to come with me. You will be spared, welcomed as one of my own. I vow to keep you safe and treat you with respect as my hostage. And the other is to avenge this excuse of a man.
Kazuma shifted his eyes leftwards at Amagiri, prompting his partner to nod in return. I stood still as Kazuma shot me a chilling glance, then spun around and began walking away from me.
I care little about what choice you make. If you decide to pursue the second option, however, then I won't hesitate to strip your flesh from bone.
Despite his thinly veiled threats, my mind was the furthest place from the ultimatum he described. I hadn't even considered running after them. The only thing swirling in my mind was the lucid color of Yamazaki's blood. The least I could do for him in this solemn moment was to pray for his soul alone in the frigid darkness. I stood there, clasping my hands tightly, waiting until the frost took me with him. Kazuma! What the heck, man? You're telling me, for a whole game, you tried to literally physically kidnap her, and then you have the opportunity to physically kidnap her, and you don't even follow through on the two options you gave her? You're like, either you're my hostage, not my wife, or you can come and kill me. Walks away and shows that there was a third option of her just staying there? Kazuma, I got questions. I don't think you thought that through. That was a little out of character. Oh well. These endings, they're gonna just be the end of me. Alright, let's move on to bad ending number 3.